please hit that subscribe button. Hey everybody, better suited to win the Stanley Cup this season. If you are new to the channel, Washington Capitals, the Boston Bruins.
Locked on and he scored! And we're live.
Hey everybody, so we are back again for another lineup projection video, and today we're going to be talking about the Washington Capitals. So basically what I do is I go through the Capitals roster and try to piece together what their lineup could look like when we get the return of hockey. It's a little bit about what I think it will look like, some of what I would do if I were the coach of the Washington Capitals, but just try to piece some lines together with their current roster and give a lineup projection for what this team could look like the next time they play. So before we begin, I just have to ask that you please hit that subscribe button if you're new. Give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. Those likes really go a long way and help the channel a lot. And let's switch over to the cap-friendly screen here and start having some fun with Washington's lineup. So here we go with Washington here. Unlike many of the teams that I've done so far with these lineup projections, where lines are very fluid and they have a lot of different options as far as who they play with who, Washington's lineup for the most part is pretty well set. There's a couple things where you can make flip-flops, but for the most part, their starting lineup is pretty well set. So you've got the top line here, obviously Alex Ovechkin and Tom Wilson on the wings. I have Kuznetsov in the middle. This is the one of those few areas where you can change things. Kuznetsov and Backstrom in the middle, you can play either one of them on that top line and the other one obviously on that second line. So you could put Backstrom with Ovechkin and Wilson. You could put Kuznetsov with Ovechkin and Wilson. The wingers generally stay the same. It's Oshie, Vrana on the second line, Ovechkin and Wilson on the top line. But the center, if you want to shake things up, you can make changes there. I think to start, they'll go with Kuznetsov with Ovechkin and Backstrom with Vrana and Oshie. But, that is, just know that that's one area where they can flip-flop guys and mess with the lineup a little bit. The third line is pretty well set. Carl Hagelin on the left side, Lars Eller, your third-line center, and Ilya Kovalchuk on the right side. Ever since Kovalchuk came over to Washington, that third line has been absolutely set as that. And then the fourth line, Nick Dowd in the middle, Richard Panik on the left side, and Garnet Hathaway. And Panik and Hathaway can both play either side wings, so it really doesn't matter who plays which side. I mean, maybe Hathaway plays the left and Panik plays the right. It really doesn't matter. They both can play either side. And then, obviously, you've got some extra players. Travis Boyd, kind of your extra forward, and then some guys who will probably get called up once we're going to have expanded rosters here. Daniel Sprong, Liam O'Brien, Michael Scarbosa, Beck Malenston. These are guys that are probably going to get called up, as well as some potential others. Moving on to defense and goaltending. Obviously, goaltending, I think you start Braden Holtby. Yes, he had a very tough year this year, but I really don't see you throwing Samsonov to the Wolves and just throwing him out there in his rookie season. So I think Holtby probably starts with Samsonov as the backup, and then Phoenix Copley is likely your third goalie. But, maybe they go Samsonov. Samsonov did have better numbers this year, but Holtby's a veteran. Holtby's the Stanley Cup winner. I think you at least start with him as your number one goalie. And on defense, obviously John Carlson is their number one D-man. He's probably going to win the Norris Trophy this year. He is certainly their best defenseman. Brendan Dillon, since getting traded from San Jose, has played a lot with John Carlson. That's kind of, even though Dillon himself is more of a third pair D-man, they've matched him with Carlson, and they've played really well together. So I think Dillon and Carlson probably stay together. Second pair, Orlov is certainly the anchor of that second pair, and he's probably going to, he'll certainly play in that spot. Who his partner is kind of remains to be seen. I have Radko Gudas there, but that could easily be Siegenthaler. That could even be Nick Jensen. Who they put in the lineup, who the extra D-man is going to be interesting, because I think Jensen, Siegenthaler, Gudas, and Kempny all have the chance to potentially be the extra D-man and not in the starting lineup. Now, personally, I think Nick Jensen should be out of the lineup. Jensen is pretty rough to watch sometimes. I think he's more your seventh guy. But you know, they have options as far as that spot goes. Michael Kempney, he'll be your third pair left side guy. And then, you know, I have Siegenthaler there on the right side. Again, that could be Gudis if Siegenthaler goes up. That could be Jensen if Gudis comes out of the lineup. I can't see Gudis. I mean, I think they're going to play Radko Gudis. I don't really. He's a depth guy, but I don't think he's a number 7. He's not a guy that you completely take out of the lineup. So I think it's probably really down to Siegenthaler and Jensen as far as who plays and who doesn't on that bottom pair. And again, I personally would put Jensen out of the lineup and play Siegenthaler and Kempney as your third pair and Gudis and Orlov as your second pair. And then obviously you have some extra D-men as well. Martin Faveri here definitely could get a look as a call up from Hershey as an extra guy. Tyler Lewington will probably get called up. Connor Hobbs, maybe another couple as well. Again, with the expanded rosters, they've got the option to bring quite a few people up into the lineup here. But yeah, overall, Washington, obviously a very good team, very, very good team. Not necessarily an elite defense core, but the top 6 here is just absolutely outstanding. Even the whole forward group in general, because even their third and fourth lines are very good for third and fourth lines. So their entire forward group is very deep and very, very good. And you know, obviously you have Carlson leading the way defense on the back end. You've got, you know, some good veteran guys here like Dylan and Gudis and some good physicality there, some good defensive play there. You know, Orlov can bring some offense to the table as well on that second pair, big time. So, you know, just a really well-built and very good team. I mean, they won their division for a reason. They're a very, very good team. And you know, for the most part, this lineup is locked into place. But like I said, they've got a couple of options as far as who they could potentially move around. You know, maybe Travis Boyd ends up in the lineup. You know, maybe he plays, although Dowd played most of this season, so I would say Dowd's going to be there. It's really, you know, they could play with the top 2 centers and move these guys and kind of flip-flop them as needed, depending on who's playing well with who and things like that. But for the most part, with the exception of a couple of places, I think this lineup is pretty well set and pretty well put together. So, yeah, that's the Washington Capitals. They are an extremely good team, and certainly a team with Stanley Cup potential this year. You know, any team with a top 6 like that, and John Carlson leading the way on the back end, they're a team to be reckoned with. And I think this is rare, but a big question with this team is Braden Holtby. Braden Holtby for the past decade has been one of the best goaltenders in the NHL, and he had a downright bad season this year. Holtby's numbers were bad. And, you know, it's going to be interesting. Do they go Samsonov in the playoffs? Do they start Holtby on a short leash? Do they start Samsonov on a short leash? And then if things don't go well, like remember 2018, the year they won the Cup, Philip Grubauer started those first 2 games in the Columbus series in the first round, lost both games. Holtby goes in for game 3 and just leads the team to the Stanley Cup. So could they start Samsonov and then switch to Holtby if things don't go well? I think, personally, I'm 100% starting Holtby right out of the gate. He is your franchise goalie. Maybe not for beyond this year, as he's probably going to leave in free agency, but he's your Stanley Cup winning goalie. He's been your franchise guy for the past decade. I think you start him, and if it doesn't go well, then you put Samsonov in. But you at least got to give Holtby that chance. And I think, you know, Samsonov being a rookie, Holtby gives them the best chance to win in the playoffs and go deep into the playoffs. So that's rarely a question with the Washington Capitals is goaltending, but now this year it is a bit of a question mark. But over, you know, again, that's up to Todd Reardon and the coaching staff to make. And I think they probably start Holtby and go with the veteran and go with the Cup winner. So other than that, you know, there's not a whole lot of question marks with this team. They're an extremely good team, a very well-built and playoff-ready team. They're a team that's certainly built for the playoffs. They have the physicality. They have the the defensive ability to play, you know, good enough defense to win in the postseason, and obviously they can score with guys like Ovechkin and Verana and Oshie, and they can put up points as well. So that's Washington, guys. We'll see what they actually look like when the season starts up again, but that's, you know, my best guess at a lineup projection for the Capitals. So with that, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, donation link, Patreon, and merch store links all down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.